Good evening, folks. Hope everybody had a fantastic weekend so far. Been a pretty good week so far. I always like the first week of May. You've got a couple holidays in there. You got the first Saturday of May with the Kentucky Derby, of course, down there in Louisville area. Always a fun thing to watch. Best 2 minutes in sports, although a little muddy this particular Saturday down there. It's a little rainy. A day later, this particular year anyway, here in 2025, you got May the 4th. So you had Star Wars Day, which to some of us nerds is a holiday. A couple days after that, or the day after that, generally, you get Cinco de Mayo, and shortly after that, 2 days later, on the 7th, you get my birthday. So that's always a fun day. So for the first week of May, the first 7 days, I get 4 holidays basically. And it's always kind of nice when they're all on a weekend like that, but I do honestly prefer if they're during the week, just simply because I can tell someone it's a holiday for me and I'm taking it off of work. So that is always a much better thing for me. Um, Best thing about it is it's always a fun weekend and I never have any problems with it. So I guess right now what I am looking for is ideas for shows upcoming. I know that Brandon's show next week and Jimmy and Billy the week after that. And after that, I'm not sure what exactly we are going to be talking about at all. But as you know, I always like talking about the upcoming shows and past shows. Um, Kind of a hodgepodge of things to do here and talk about and say, but always have good luck talking about them and finding out what's going on, where they're happening. And part of where they're happening is with that little ticker down here at the bottom of the screen that's going by with everything here. BassWars.org and the franchise link. That link is going to take you to all of the local shows. Hopefully for you, you've got local shows. If not, if you can travel an hour or two, maybe three. I do know that some judges travel further than that. I've got one coming up next month that is still in my area, almost 600 miles away, and I could easily do 600 in my area, almost 700 if I go from corner to corner up here North and South Dakota. It's a long ways, but more than happy and always welcome to travel and meet new bass heads and meet bass head friends that may have just had their show or may have had their first show, and get out there, see them again, see if they've made any changes. Um, Always fun to see them again, regardless of how long it's been. Some people, they get out of it, and occasionally they come back. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But if they do, maybe see them in a new car, find out what they're doing, and get back into it with them because it's always fun to see good bass head friends. And like I say, I've got one coming up here that's about 600 miles away. Last time I looked, I believe it was it's either 563 or 573 miles away for me. Um, yeah, I know some judges won't drive that far. I know some competitors that would never even think about driving that far. But to those people, I just say you're just not dedicated enough sometimes. And at the same time, I can say the same thing because there are times when I just can't do it either. It's too long of a drive, or it's too far, or I've unfortunately got something else coming up. Um, it is just one of those things. But speaking of coming up, the best thing about this particular weekend, aside from what I just mentioned here with the little bit of the calendar for this month, was that our newest bass heads have arrived. Tina and Shane Winchester, a couple of our judges down in the Alabama area. Tina finally had her twins this weekend, and I'm looking at the picture here from about 15 minutes ago, just before the show started. Looks like Shane is changing a diaper, which good job for you, Shane. That's something, it's a skill everybody should have to do. I don't care who you are, mom, dad, brother, sister, aunt and uncle, grandma and grandpa, friends, neighbors, whoever is your babysitter. You know, get out there, change your damn diapers, because stinky babies are not good. But we are happy, or at least I am very happy. Everybody in the bass world should be. Tanner Lee Winchester, 5 pounds and 15 ounces. Technically little brother because he was born a minute later, but bigger. Uh, Joseph Thomas Winchester, 7 pounds, 4 ounces. Both spent a little bit of time in the NICU over the weekend. They are, from what mom and dad are looking happy in the, got almost 40 pictures that Tina has and Shane have out there on their website for them, so, or on Facebook for them. I'm happy that they are healthy. Mom and dad are looking healthy in the pictures as well. So a very, very big round of applause for them. Billy, I see you on there, sir. How are you doing tonight? Hope you are doing well also. Saw that just came on while I was talking there about Tina and Shane. If you'd like to join in, please come on in. Otherwise, I'm going to start talking about some of the, God, I started counting them up earlier. We have 16 shows still coming up this weekend, which it's not a record for us, but it does seem like a lot. I know I'm doing a couple of them here. I've got my regular tweak and tune. I got another one the next day, about 10 miles away. Another little audio shop here in Sioux Falls is having a grand reopening. They got some new owners. And then I've got one up in Grand Forks later on this month with TBO, Team Bass Outlaws, coming around up there. One of the guys up there, Xavier, is hosting a show for us. So it should be a fun time. God, did I say 16? Yeah. Billy, we have 16 shows coming up the way it looks from the calendar. And I think it's 16 anyway. Let me double check here again. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Okay, 17, I guess, if I include my event right now. 17, 18 if I include Brandon next week and you and Jimmy in a couple weeks. But 16 shows. So yeah, we have quite a few coming up. You gotta work hard on a Monday and a Tuesday, and some of us judges, well, I work a little hard on a Thursday, but I spend 10 or 15 minutes making sure my punch list is done with all my gear, all my tag plates, my score sheets, all the good stuff like that. Couple of my guys showing up here. Ted, that is the freakiest picture of you I have ever seen. That's all the more you're getting tonight, man, with that picture. Eric, how are you doing there tonight, sir? Always a good time at the shows with you. I know I had the show here a couple weeks ago with both of you gentlemen showing up, although it was a little rainy at first and then a little windy and rainy at the very end as well for me on the way home. I got some wind and some rain on the way home. Ted, you'll be happy to hear that you do not owe me a TV or anything. My TV was working when I got it back to the shop and hung it up on the wall on Monday morning here last week. So always a good thing that way. And yeah, Billy, like I said, we do work hard on Mondays and Tuesdays around here with BassWars. I know that you guys always do because you're getting archives coming through from all of the judges where that concludes the judging for that particular show. It's a little file that we send out to Billy and to John Tom. John Taylor, his son does all the graphics for us, all the results pages and that stuff. So Mondays are a very busy time for Base Wars. Planning the new shows, making sure that hopefully checking out with the people for that particular weekend that things are still on. If we need to change something in your descriptions, that we can. Vendors may change. Um, Vendors may have been added. Groups may be wanting to come along or something with it, or a group may be wanting to taking care of stuff for it. It's a lot of on Billy and John Taylor's side. It's a lot of artwork. It's a lot of making sure names are spelled right. It's making sure that a lot of things are done right in the archive, because what they print out is what they are sent. So if I send a spelling error, as I did to mine last weekend or a week and a half ago here with my buddy Zeke. Zeke, I had you in as just Zeke in one of your classes. I hope I talked to Billy about it. I hope they got to it. I did not actually see the results page, although I know it is out there because I've seen a couple of other people copy and repost it and reshare all of that stuff. So it's always a good time. But yeah, there's always a good God. Again, Ted, that is just a freaky picture, man. What? I don't want to know what you did. Getting the street build back up. How the heck did I still get two first? Yeah. Eric, you just God, it pains me to say it. You're just that good or loud, maybe. Although I didn't technically do a class, but we'll butt heads later on this year. I'm working on something right now that moved a little bit over the weekend. And by moved, I mean, not much, 15 or 20 feet is what it moved, but something moved over the weekend for you. So we'll figure out something one way or another to get a good head-to-head battle again, like the old days. The old days only being like, 5 or 6 years ago. But no, we do a lot Mondays and Tuesdays, as Billy is posted up on there, and I know judges do a lot of Mondays and Tuesdays, getting back from a weekend show, getting everything sent off to Billy, archives money, making sure that we have tag plates, making sure that we have paper for our own printers at home for Friday when I do my 10 or 15 minutes worth of work. I got to print off some score sheets and occasionally make little notes on the score sheets as well. Sometimes I do them in that little area down on the bottom down there. Guys, I always got a blank score sheet or 3 or 4 with me here. I got a couple with me today. I got my little black book in here, of course, as always. I got a tag plate sitting here, so a couple empty notebooks for notes. So if someone needs something out of a show, that I can make sure that I've got that notebook with me as well. If they're looking for something special out of a show, oh geez, I've had people ask for like best of show awards and things like that. And while I generally don't do them, some judges do. Um, in my case, for my big long show up in Killdeer, North Dakota, it might be me who gets uh, the long distance award or something like that. Although I know that I'm going to have a couple people probably reaching the 200 or 300 mile range just for a BassWars show, which is always very satisfying for me, but hopefully satisfying for them as well. Because again, like Jimmy always says, we're trying to bring fun back to the lanes. It's not so rigid and structured all the time, but liking to have fun. And again, if your judge isn't having fun, you probably aren't either. And yeah, Eric, I'll play that game with you. I'll play the old school style of game with you there for that. Although I think you're probably going to be getting me with both cone area and power, but for well, I won't even tell you yet. But probably 14,000. So we'll see. But yeah, always having fun in the lanes. And like I say, on Fridays, I know some of us, we've got our little punch list together in a uh, like a DJ bag or something with all our cables and term lab and the computer and tag plates, score sheets, all that stuff has to get printed off and made sure that it works, that it's updated. So that's kind of what I do on a Friday. Some people, if they have a truck topper or a tonneau cover on their truck, or maybe even their car, if they've got a smaller tent to bring by as a judge, they'll get that loaded up on Friday. They'll get a couple tables, TV or two, so that you as the competitors can see everything out there. Um, Heck, they may even print off a guidebook or two, or a couple of them sitting there for you, just so you can have one and make sure that they are the latest and greatest copy of everything. Um, I know that Billy does change them during the year on little spelling things or grammatical errors that we may have with a comma or a period or something else, or maybe we've just got a couple words put together that we need some spelling checks done on. So we'll do that as well. But yeah, really, I don't have much to talk about in the next couple of months. So if anyone has something, I will be more than happy to take some suggestions. Doesn't mean I'm going to do them, but I can always talk about different events, of which this coming weekend, um, it looks like only Saturday do we have an event coming up, and that is going to be with one of our new judges, Tim, up in the Duluth Superior area of Minnesota and Wisconsin. He's actually traveling down to an area that Jimmy and I could probably, well, I might actually try and, well, let's see. Saturday is the day before Mother's Day. I probably won't be getting to it, but Tim is going down to Des Moines this particular weekend, and he is going to be doing the Drake Relay Show. It's at Prospect Park down there in Des Moines. That is the only show happening this weekend, unfortunately. But looks like we have a couple next weekend. It looks like we've got, oh geez, we've got 7 shows next weekend. So next weekend, one of the big shows, I'm going to cover that one last. Actually, 2 of them I'm going to cover last because they are both kind of big. Um, one of them next weekend, and I mean at the end of next week, not the end of this week, coming up here on the 16th. We've got my little Tweak and Tune show. That is on Friday night at my little shop, or Phil's little shop, Midwest Sound and Power here in T, South Dakota. On Saturday, the 17th, we have got a show that's going to be pretty interesting. The Christian Life Church is where this one is at. It is at the Dark Side Summerfest. It's in Madison, Tennessee. Uh, that is on Saturday. That looks to be a pretty decent show. It looks like we have quite a few people. It looks like 73 people have responded to that one. So make sure you get there early and get a spot in the lane for everything so that it runs nice and smooth. If you've got questions, check it out with your judges. Also on Saturday next week, Custom Car Audio, and that is going to be in Eugene, Oregon. That is going to be our buddy James out there. James should have a nice show out there for that. Looks like he's got 68 people coming to that one that are interested or going to it. Also on Saturday, this is my Friday, Saturday event kind of thing here. I've got my thing on Friday night, and another shop in town is having a grand reopening. This is going to be at Dashboard Electronics here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. They had new owners come out just before the new year and took it over on January 1st this year. I know that TJ is looking forward to doing this in between some softball, and I know he just either is just returning now or just went with some kicker folks down to Mexico for some of the shows that they are having down there to revamp the kicker stuff that they are carrying here in town. So should be a fantastic show for that. Although I will advise people coming in from the south that there is no access to Carolyn Avenue anymore where they are at. They did a revamp of that particular exit off of I-29. So you'll either have to go around the corner around by McDonald's or go up to 26th and Louise exit and come back down south to get to them. So if you need a map, check out the map. It's not quite as accurate as it used to be, but it is still there. And we'll look forward to seeing you on Saturday at Dashboard for that one. Last show on Saturday is going to be, oh, I'm sorry, this is on Sunday. Bahalia. This is in Mississippi. It looks like we are going to be seeing maybe. It looks like Tina and Shane on there. Hopefully they might be able to make it. But they got about 50 people coming to this little show down there. This is going to be Carmageddon coming up this particular a week from Sunday. So not Mother's Day, but a week from Mother's Day. Also on the 18th, Brax's Cars for a Cause. That is going to be, excuse me, sorry about that. Anderson, South Carolina coming up on that one. And if you are not familiar, Anderson is just south of Greenville, a little bit to the northeast of Lawrenceville area as well down there. So a nice corner of South Carolina, the northwest corner specifically for you folks. The two bigger shows that I kind of waited until the end, 2 weeks from now, not this weekend again, folks, but next weekend. Again, not this weekend. Do not message the BassWars page and say I said this weekend. It's next weekend. We have probably one of the shows that gets a lot of turnout and a lot of great pictures. Made of Steel show is coming up on Friday, the 16th through Sunday, the 18th. So 3 full days, Brooksville, Florida. It is going to be a big show. If you don't know where it is, if you make a triangle, actually just go due west of Orlando and straight north of Tampa. You cannot miss it. It will be loud enough that you'll be able to hear it for a couple miles away, I'm sure. But I have been through the area before. I've seen a lot of the area. I have never been to the show, unfortunately, because it was when I was much younger that I was in that area. And actually out on the opposite coast, out in Titusville area, Daytona Beach, getting down to kind of Palm Bay, Satellite Beach area in the outer Keys, kind of where well, exactly where Cape Canaveral is, because I was a NASA nerd kid when I was a little kid, so I enjoyed it down there. But that is going to be in 2 weeks. We also have Basin for the Vets coming up. Looks like we've got the Soundwave coming up in North Dakota. We've got a second annual L-Town Beatdown coming up with Jimmy and Sonia coming up on the 24th as well in Lincoln, Nebraska. We've got an American Legion fundraiser coming up. We've got a Panama City Mega Show coming up. Throwdown in the Sticks coming up. We do have a California show. We've got Soundcheck number 3 coming up with Brandon here toward the end of the month, actually on Memorial Day weekend for that one. So we have a lot of shows coming up. Not a lot this weekend, like I said, but a lot coming up. So we're going to have some fun with everything. Jeremy, what's going on? Didn't mean to disappoint and not include you or Mr. Shumley coming up there. Chris, what's going on? There you go. 215s, no wall, full interior, 153. I'd take that as a slight challenge, I think, right now, because I think I could, well, I don't know what I could do yet. My interior's still empty. I did put in the steering wheel though. So Eric, I at least had that in over the weekend. That's all I will tell you. Cleaned up some stuff. Phil even helped me today clean up some stuff. Took him about 10 seconds. Took me about 10 minutes yesterday. Took him 10 seconds today with a whole bunch of help. I sprayed the hell out of a connection with some WD-40 that I couldn't get yesterday, and Phil had it done in 5 seconds. So that being said, it pumped up his ego for the day, needless to say. But yeah, we've got a lot of shows coming up this month. Like I said here, 16 shows coming up this month. Um, June, got a couple at the beginning, not much in the middle. And again, I got 3 next month as well. It's a little weird. Looks like Brandon's got a big one coming up at Soundcheck again. We got a My Smoke and Shine next month. Team Flex on 'em has a night show next month. We got one of the big ones coming up middle of July up here in the upper northwest. Jimmy and Sonia will be doing 712 Boom at the Icky Nickel. Always a fun show. Um, if you want to go out and do bass on a driving range, hitting baseball, softball kind of range area, come on up here, Sioux City, Iowa. Meet Jimmy and Sonia. You won't meet me at that show. I will be at another show that particular weekend, unfortunately. I will be at my big long distance show. But we got a lot of shows coming up here over the summer. But if you're still looking for them, and I know that a lot of you are, because if you message the chat that's out there, it's always, where's this show? Is this show still happening? Can I do this? Um, it's fun. Um, it's a lot of fun. And Gordon, let's see, better have big plans ready for the birthday. There might be some new world records that weekend. I hope that there will be. And speaking of world records, if you haven't checked out the top 10, there is one category in there that I don't think there's an American on it. I think everybody on the top 10 list is from South Africa. So my question is what the hell is going on with you guys over there? Followed by what the hell happened to us? We're all of a sudden not loud anymore, apparently. I'm not going to tell you what category it was, but our guys right there, digital. How am I doing this? And those guys, they're getting really loud over there in South Africa, folks. And I'm not even going to tell you how loud some of them are. I'm going to make you go look. So go out to BassWars.org, and it's some of the first stuff you see, because the very first thing you're going to see is the global top 10 list. Those are members and members only. I'll get you your 80s jacket later on for that one there, Eric, along with your water park. Where are they building that, Eric? Is it behind the earthen levee or the dike that's right there, or where are they building it? Because I can't imagine that they're building it across the street. That would be really weird, because I don't know if Cargill would like that, but haven't even started the build yet. I wouldn't guess that you have yet there, Chris, with the new truck and stuff, but when you do, keep me posted on it, man. I want to be able to see that thing in stages, like take out your factory deck, put in the new one, and for the love of God, please do not put in one of those big floating Tesla deck POSs. Phil and I did we've done a couple of those now. And God, those things are just such a pain in the butt. If I needed a 40-page pamphlet just to install your radio, you have too much crap on your radio. Literally on the highway right next door. Literally on the highway right next door. I may have to make a road trip down to Sioux City and drop off some parts with or some Rico and stuff with Tajin just to see that. I might have to go down there and talk with him for a bit. See what he's doing. 100 feet off the camping. Oh shit. Really? Okay. 100 feet off the camping area. So just to the, what I'm going to call the south of it, toward that little RV camper dealership that's right there. That would be interesting. All right. Chris, I can live with that. I can live with a double din. I like the Pioneers. I like the Kenwood JVCs. Not terribly fond of the Sonys myself, but it's also been about 30 years since I've used Sony, so I can't say for them personally anymore, but 30 years ago they were fantastic. Love their stuff. But currently using, well, I got a Kenwood double din in one vehicle and factory in another. After 2.5 years, I still have factory. Can't believe I'm saying that. 2.5 years, almost 3. I have had my little orange Honda Fit, and I still have factory everything in it. There's 4 factory speakers and the factory radio. At one point, I had it stripped last year. All the interior was gone, minus the actual dash. But the dash and steering wheel were there. But center console, the seats were out, the carpet was out, the door panels were off, wires were in the vehicle, and I didn't finish it. I'm lazy. Sorry. Bingo. Oh. Sorry, I thought you were just trying to scam us old people, since it's my birthday on Wednesday. Another revolution around the sun. That would be cool. If you could find the Panasonic Ghost, or if you could find the, well, everyone said, let me go on a short rant for a second here. The 80 PRS. It is a fantastic radio. It really, truly is. But it is not what you need for BassWars. Anyone using it in BassWars right now, unfortunately, one, you're using a fantastic radio. It is probably the best radio still out there. It is not worth the $500 and $600 that I see people trying to get for it, like it's an Alpine 7909 or the old Pioneer ODR system. You're wasting your money on that radio if you're paying more than $300 for it. And really, honestly, if you're paying more than $200 for it, you're pretty much wasting your money on it as well, because you can get the Kenwood Exelon 305 that is $150 or $160 retail, that does the exact same thing as the 80 PRS. It's got time alignment, it's got the 24 or 36 dB slope on it for all your crossover points, and quite honestly, if you're just using it for BassWars, you got 5-volt pre-outs anyway on both the Kenwood and the Pioneer and several others that are cheaper. If that's all you need is a 5-volt pre-out because someone told you it's going to give you a cleaner signal, yeah, if you use a clean source, but otherwise it ain't giving you anything. But yeah, going back to your Panasonic Ghost there, man, if I could find one of those, that'd be fantastic, man. Hey, Donnie, what's going on? Braden? Happy to see you here, sir. Donnie, I was just talking about a couple of classes that, you know, I know you scored big in one over the weekend here. And I know that the South African contingent is, I believe they are sweeping one of the classes right now for all top 10 scores. I don't believe there was an American on it. And I just said, what the hell is going on over there? And what the hell's going on with us that we are not in it? How are we not loud? I thought we invented this stuff. I thought we were supposed to be good. Apparently, we're not. Yes, there is a good deck, Eric. The MVH 620 and 620 BS, 6 volts, 140 bucks. Not telling you what brand it is, but that's the model number for everything there, folks. Go out and Google search it, or Yahoo search, or MSN, or whatever. They all use Google. Even Apple uses Google for their search. Go look at an Apple phone. It is powered by Samsung with their chips, with their cameras, with their search. It's Google, but everybody uses Google. It doesn't matter. 97 or 96.5%, 97% of the search engines used is Google. That's the way it is. Take it from a computer tech. I know what I'm talking about. What class? I don't remember what class it is, honestly, here, Donnie, and I wanted to get Braden in, because Braden, you and Chris here can build a couple things together, man. Plan your builds together and see who comes out on top. See who comes out. Claim a death match and do it side by side at 2 different shows, but at the same time. And that could be interesting to do a internet battle death match. 3 minutes, same song, at the same time. That could be interesting. But yeah, Donnie, it's toward the bottom of the list somewhere for the class that it reads like a Who's Who Wrecking Crew on that particular list, and probably, I don't want to get the number wrong, but I'm going to say at least 3 of them were 3 or 4 were future audio teammates. I know that a couple others are with the Digital Star that we have on here as a sponsor over here on the left side right here. Keep doing the wrong finger thing, but right there. They're doing some loud stuff over in South Africa. I was watching some videos of theirs over the weekend, and I couldn't be more astounded and not surprised at what they are doing there. They are they've got to be testing 24/7 and finding those little, those little half tones of things out there, not 43 or 44 or 45 hertz, but 42.6 or 42.7. Because if you've got a tone generator and can do it right, you can get an extra tenth or two. And I've seen so many times that people just don't test enough for things like that, myself being one of them about 5 or 6 years ago, and then started listening to people who were louder than me and had about the same experience as me start talking about halftones, and I started looking them up and finding them, and all of a sudden my old notebook went the way of the dodo bird and my new notebook came into play, and You know, it's a small notebook, but it does everything I need for it, for all of my testing. Right, thinking about doing a center console in a GMC Sierra, single 12 3K, and dual 8s in the front door. The 8 with a mid-range tweeter combo in there, like an 8 and a 5 1/4, even a 4 inch. Um, I don't know if anyone, to my knowledge, makes an 8 for the woofer in a three-way. But I know a lot of people make a 6.5 and like a 3.5 tweeter, or a 6x9 3.5, or 6x9, 6x9 6.5 for the woofer, and like a 3.5 or a 2.7 inch, 2.8 inch mid range, and then a small tweeter for it. So you've got some space in those doors. I might consider looking into something like that. That could be interesting to do in a full-size GMC Sierra. So hopefully, be rather nice for you. Especially in a center console build, that would be really nice, especially if it's just a single cab. If it's a dual cab, I would do something quite a bit larger, but that's me. But if you're just going to do the single center console sub design, a nice 12 with a 3K would be very nice in there, especially in RS. RS Platinums are, I've seen a lot of videos with those out on the internet lately, out on Facebook. A lot of people seem to be loving them. I don't see too many people hating on them, so that tells me they're not blowing them up right away, which is always a good thing. Don't know if that one uses, depending on which version of the RS, if you're going up to the, I assume you're talking the Resilience with RS Platinums, or if you're using a team size, or actually, are those two this? I don't even remember if those two are the same either. My apologies for not knowing one of our sponsors a little bit better right there. I don't follow them as well as I should, obviously, but the custom door pods with the single eights, very nice. Would love to be doing something like that. Oh yeah, start your notebook the weekend until you blew the window seals. A good thing to have. You know, Donnie, I've been harping on you guys a lot. You're the only one so far, other than probably, I know Eric makes a couple little notes once in a while, but I don't know about every note or every event. But I don't put them down at every event, but I will at least take a screenshot capture of the weather, and I will write down in the notes on that when I get home what my score was, what my volume was, and a couple things like that. So I do have notes, but yeah, if you can get into 20 hertz and 30 hertz, um, that low end range out there, um, if you want to get into the music categories, folks, um, I know the wall side of things on that is going to be easily 155, if not 160 on the top end of that. And those on your little score sheet. Score sheet has all the classes on the bottom, so you're going to see your Hurricane and Typhoon up to 29 hertz, Hurricane up to 19, Typhoon, Cyclone and Twister. Then you get into your hot seat. Someone's got to hold it there. But if you're going to play in that Hurricane 0 to 19 or that Typhoon 20 to 29, you better have some good window seals. You better have some recones available relatively quickly, especially if you're going to go full on. If you're not going to go full send, I might, it's good to just get a score. If you just need the score and you're just there to get your points, that's fine too, or get your shows. That is perfectly fine. I don't mind a person who comes to the shows and does that, because at least they are coming to the shows. They're not, and I don't want to call anyone out, but they're not going to be complaining about stuff or doing this or doing that. And yeah, I hear all of them. I think I've heard almost every excuse out there. including my own sometimes, because I will make excuses for myself sometimes. Not in getting to a show, because I know my people up here know that I make it through everything. 100 plus temps last year, 30 temps last year with snow and rain above 30, so we were probably in single digits, if not below zero, with wind chills. Um, Chris, you know the rain I drove through last year, and Eric and Donnie, you know the rain I drove through that end of June biblical flood that we had up here. Yeah, I drove through that stuff. Went through the hood of my Dodge, and I do mean through and over the hood of my Dodge. Took me over an hour to drive 15 miles in it. That was the stupidest thing I've ever done. I've done a lot of stupid things. That was the stupidest. Okay, maybe marriage, I don't know. But that was the stupidest thing I've ever done on the way to a show or at a show. Even after smashing my own door panel and windshield, two different shows. Same fist, but two different shows. Those were both stupid as well. But driving through that much rain was stupid. I would have gone off the road and drowned. Then you wouldn't hear my lovely voice. Anyway, aside from my voice that you might be hearing soon, I have heard, let's see, I had a phone call earlier this week from one of my competitors who told me about a couple more shows he is interested in. I got to figure out a good weekend for it coming up here, so we might have another show or two in one of my main areas to have shows at, not at my shop or here in Sioux Falls, because I think I got that set up for the rest of the year, except for I'm still toying with whether or not to have my July tweaker tune, because the next day I got to drive about 300 miles each way, there and back, because I have an event on Sunday that I kind of forgot about that's not audio related, but I told some people I would be there. So I got to go from here up there, then down here again, and put on 600 miles plus sit in the sun for 8 hours, something like that. So that means I got to be there between 8 and 10 hours, along with driving for 4 to get there, 4 to get back. So that could be an 18-hour day. That could be, 6 a.m. to midnight, which hopefully it's 5 a.m. and 1 a.m. Get myself a 20-hour day that way. But it's always fun. And I don't complain about the shows generally, unless it's one of those 105-degree days out in Kennebec like it was last year, or the rain going down to Lincoln last year, or the cold in the Yankton like 2 weeks ago or last year. Always having fun in the cold though, because if it ain't snowing, I think every year I've been to a show since I started coming back to shows in 2016 or 2015. I'm pretty sure it has snowed at least once at every show that I have been to during the year, or had some very severe weather of some type, either tornado. Well, no, it's snowed every year, because we had snow in the Twin Cities one year in May. Doesn't happen often, but it does happen. Good buddy of mine, Billy Keeble, and I were complaining about the snow. I asked him if he did a snow dance for us, because I was teasing him about his Native American heritage, and he said, "Nope, we didn't dance for that one. We danced for, well, I can't even say it because it's not politically correct, but we had a good laugh over it, needless to say, and I was glad I was still on his side of things." But anyway, shows coming up. We got one show this coming weekend. We have 15 other shows coming up still for the rest of the month here. I'm sure there are probably some others, but they're not on the list that I see. So if someone knows of a show or still wants a show from us, that little link that's been going down across everything here all show long, that little link is going to show you where we need judges and more so where we have judges right now. If you're looking to get a show scheduled, please let us know. Made of Steel. Greg, I assume that is you. I did talk about that one a little bit out there, due west of Orlando, due north of Tampa. I have been in that area. I just have not been to Made of Steel. It has not been available to me either the last couple of years because I've had a show or when I was in that area. Made of Steel wasn't happening yet because it would have been last time I was in that part of Florida would have been about 12, maybe 15 years ago or so. But I've been told and did say that, yeah, it's a fantastic show. Lots of great pictures, lots of big builds show up for that one. If you want to bring it back to something in the neighborhood of like the old school, and I'm talking late 80s, early 90s with the Daytona Beach Nationals, obviously East Coast, West Coast, or Gulf Coast, Oceanside. Yeah, that's kind of what I would bring it up to. Maybe not as large yet. Probably not on par with that particular size, but as far as enthusiasm for it, oh yeah. Um, bring in the, I almost hate to say it, bring in the spring break crowd, but bring that in, bring in the DJs, bring in the hot Harley nights, the hot import nights thing. Bring in your local car shows, your local drag crew, your local street crew, your local quarter mile crew, dirt track racers, trailer racers, camper races, boat racers, whatever. You could have huge 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, 100,000 like Daytona Beach used to be. Bring it in just for the show. And it would be awesome. The only kind of show that I know that gets that, unfortunately, we don't have them this year, but Slam, when they return for next year, I'm looking for a huge return for them. I hope they can get a fantastic venue. Never been to it, but again, I see all the pictures and the videos from it, or well, not all, but I see tons of pictures and videos from it. Lots of good memories from friends that have been able to go to it. Should be fantastic to see Made of Steel this year as well from you guys and gals that are going down there, and kids. Can't forget your two that always go with you there to that, Greg. I know they are 1 and 2 on top of a couple of the kids categories, which reminds me, guys, gals, if you're out there and your kids come to the shows with you and they get bored, one, that's kind of your fault. You didn't bring their Power Wheels with them. We have classes specifically built for Power Wheels. And honestly, if they want to, aside from the kids and the Baby Boomer SPL, I would let them, actually, I'd let them run in all three of the other, aside from Iron Horse, because that's motorcycles and golf carts. I'd let them do old school Port Wars. I'd let them do Bullseye. If they want to, I'd even let them do a death match against another one. And I don't know if Addison and Avalon do it with you, Greg, but if they wanted to do a death match, that'd be kind of cool. 3 minutes, sibling against sibling, sister against brother, brother against brother, sister against sister, whatever the contingency happens to be. But guys and gals, bring your kids with you to the shows. We are family friendly. Yeah, you might have to answer a question or two about, hey, Dad, what did that mean in this song? Or, Mom, what did they mean when they did this or something else? Or, why couldn't I sit in Donnie's car when he did the hair trick stuff? Well, one, because Donnie's car is really loud and you don't want to. It might hurt. So that I can understand. Safety first. Fun, a very close second. Very close. Like paper thin away. But safety first. So bring your kids. Go out. Spend $1,000 on a Power Wheels build. You know, go to Walmart. Buy up a Power Wheels. Find a grave digger or a dump truck or something. Build them a Power Wheels. $100 radio, $200 or $300 sub, $200 or $300 sub amp. Okay, right there you got your $1,000. You're done. You don't need anything more. Okay, if you want to throw an excess power battery in there or JY bank, if you want to throw some lithium or C-Max in there or whatever, what, $30 in power wire, a couple feet of 4-gauge? Because you're certainly not going to have any voltage drop in 4 feet of power wire. Or if you do, you got a real issue with your compression links or your ferrules or something that you're doing. A 6-foot RCA cable. There you go. You got that laying around on the garage floor, I'm sure. Some of you do. I know I do. So, bring a Power Wheels. Spend $1,000. Tell them it's Christmas in May or Christmas in June sale and you're coming out to the show with them specifically. Some of you can't do it. I understand that. You don't have a truck to put it in or you don't have a small trailer to put it on. If you got a teammate that's got a truck with an empty bed, then you got a way to get it there. If you've got a teammate with an empty trailer and an empty trailer hitch on their main vehicle, you've got a way to get it there. So I don't know why we only see Greg and Stacy's kids with Power Wheel Scores and Brian Heyman with his little girl Sadie. I know he actually works on his and posts his. Greg, I only see pictures of the girls right behind yours, so I assume yours has been built like that for a long time. But I do see Sadie out there building hers. I had the chance to score hers last year. It was very nice, and I know Brian has made some changes to it. I haven't seen his scores this year personally, but I know that they're louder. So I'm happy with those. Means people are listening and still taking note or notes. But if we could see more kids' Power Wheels in the lanes, I would be happier. We got a couple other things in the top 10 that really don't even have that many scores yet either. Like Typhoon Trunk, I think, or maybe it was Cyclone Trunk. One of them only had like 1 or 2 scores. We've been having shows, folks, for 7 months. Since October of last year. So October, November, December, January, February, March, April, and now we're into May. So we've actually been having them through 8 months. And we've had 1 entry. That's wrong. Get into those classes that don't have the entries. Make sure you're valid for those classes. But get into them. I'd hate to see someone walk into finals with themselves being the only competition that there is, if I can even call it that. But I know the person that's got that one score, or maybe there's two now over this weekend. I haven't looked today. But if there's only one or two scores in it, get yourself a $200 junker and get into that particular category. Steal it away from someone if you can. If you can't, well, that's fine too. But try and steal it away from them. Just because there's only one score in it and you don't have the right vehicle currently doesn't mean you can't have it by finals and get your 7 shows out there. And speaking of that, those 7 shows, remember, we got a 2-for-1 deal that Billy announced a couple weeks ago that he'll give you credit for a second show if you pay full price for it. So, same class, same show. You tell the judge, we put a 2X on it, we get $30 because it's not an additional show entry. It's an additional show, so it's $30. And if you want to do 2, well, we can't give you the $20 there either because it's 2 classes. It's 2 additional entries, so it's $60 for that additional thing. You also still got to make your 7 shows, so make sure that you have your memberships. If you don't have your memberships, please, again, that little link that's down there, scrolling across the top where it says franchises right now and coming across like that, right there, find your judge, get the franchises. Well, on that same area where it says franchises, that second or third link from the drop-down menu or on the website, it says store. The 2025 membership is built onto that store. So go out there, fill out the membership form, give Billy $30. Bill at Cash App or BassWars for it or whatever his handle is for it. I know it is on there directly. So when you're doing it, you fill out your name and address and email, phone number, way we can get a hold of you through email as well. And we will send you a link. Fill out that link. If you don't, we can't get you the number. Got to fill out the link. So look in your email, look in your junk email or your trash because it may have gotten trashed. Most places you got to delete both of those, your junk and your trash, before it permanently gets off of Gmail or Hotmail or Yahoo or MSN or whatever your work email may be. So, otherwise, folks, it has been a pleasure tonight. I will tell you that we are on the internet on BassWars.org. It is not .com, it is .org, as it says on that ticker. We are on Facebook. The red and black looking logo, the yin yang that is on there, that's the main Facebook page. That's going to have all the events that I read off of every time I am on here for you folks. That is where I read them. If I don't see them on there, please contact your local judge and find out why their event is not on there for you, because it should be. We've got to fill out a little form for Billy and John Tyler to get those situated in there. I think I might be the only judge that does his or her own on there. Otherwise, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, interwebs, outer webs, sometimes other places. And with that, one last little plug for the BassWars Africa folks. That contingent is loud. If you have not followed them, like you follow the official BassWars group or the BassWars page, they are simply under BassWars Africa. Follow them. See what Sujin and Pumish get to see basically every other weekend at their shows, which are either top 10s just being decimated and created, or number 1s being created and decimated. again, if you saw the changes over this past weekend or two, um, I'm pretty sure South Africa dominates two or three classes, and I'm 98% positive they own all 10 in at least one of the categories out there right now, or one of our classes. So, again, props to them. I really want to see those vehicles and say, what the hell is going on there? Because how are you doing that? And more so, how are you doing that? I don't understand it because I thought we had some loud shows here and some loud people here. Apparently, not as much as I thought. But props to South Africa, BassWars folks. And again, Sujin and Pumish and all of their hosts for having those shows. I know they can't have them without having a great group of competitors out there. And I know that holds true for us here as well. So to my competitors, to Jimmy's competitors, to the two newest bass heads that we have in Shane and Tina's 2 day, I think they were born on Saturday afternoon right before the Derby, 2 day old newborns whose, oh darn, whose names I've already forgotten. I want to say Joseph and Tanner. I hope I'm right because I thought their initials were TJ. I hope that was right. Hope they sleep well and don't wake you up too much, Tina. Shane, they can wake you up whenever. You think you did your job 9 months ago or whenever? Yeah. No, you haven't. Trust me. With that, folks, I am going to let you go unless there are any future questions out there or further questions out there, rather. Thank you for coming on in tonight again. Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, whatever other social medias I may have missed, we're on there. May not get to you right away in 5 minutes or something, but we're going to get to you. If you got questions, reach out to your local judge. If you got questions that they can't answer, reach out to the official BassWars chat. It's available 24/7. I'm not going to look at my phone now because I know I've already got 2 other messages, and I don't want 4 or 10 on there like I all of a sudden got last week, but it was interesting. I hope my next show becomes as interesting, and I hope everybody that shows up is bigger, badder, and louder about it. So, with that, stay safe in the lanes. I will see you there. Enjoy.